Okay, so let us continue with Operation 004A, I believe we're on at the minute. Once again, it's time for the change our wonderful ones around to speed up our levelling up process. And you are going to want to eventually level up every single one of your wonderful ones, because it allows you to unlock a rather powerful move. Which in turn is linked to a bottle cap, and obviously you want as many bottle caps as possible. You'll find out the primary reason for that towards the end of the walkthrough, but either way. So now that we have a bit more breathing space than when Wonder White was immediately turning up, it's probably a good time to delve into Wonder White as he is. One thing I should point out as we're doing it now is that the Unite Claw allows you to climb on things, which is very helpful, although it does lead to one rather evil mission, which I believe actually happens right at the end of this operation, which is always fun. So Wonder White is from Shinshu in Japan. Now, if you have played Okami, you should recognise the words Shinshu, because it is a place in Japan, but also it's kind of, you've got Shinshu Fields of Okami, which is just awesome. Also, they went with a fighting nun. They went there. So on Wonder White's kind of head, it's got a large golden kanji symbol, which is Hyaku, which means 100. So it's kind of referencing the wonderful one below. And also, as I'm going to go into slightly, it is part of his name. At a later point in the game, the symbol is going to change to Shiro, which means white, which it links into Wonder White. It's great. So Wonder White's kind of civilian surname, which is Byakuin, comes from Byako, which translates into a white tiger. But also you've got an element of the Hyaku in there with the 100. But also, his first name, Momoe, translates into 100 blessings. 100 once again. But it's slightly amusing because Momoe is a girl's name given to a boy. This is the joys of the Wonderful 101 wiki, of which there is not as much information as I believe there should be, but these things happen when not enough people play a wonderful game such as this. So his claws are Dantenmaru and Zanjimaru. Possible inspiration is probably Wolverine. They're very similar. And something that I should probably point out is that kind of earlier on in development, a lot of the wonderful ones that we have in the main cast weren't necessarily going to be part of the main cast. Because Wonder White is, I think, in some of the early concept art seen as Wonder Ninja, who's a small kid with blue garments and a white scarf. Obviously nothing like how he turned out in the end. Still, it's quite cool. Also, I love that in his introduction sequence they used the kind of traditional Japanese instruments and the oi bit. I don't quite know how to describe it. I'm sure you understand what I mean, roughly. If you've listened to the Okami soundtrack, you know exactly what I'm going on about. They use that in his intro, it's quite cool. Also, that bottle cap right there was for saving 1,000 civilians, I think it was. So it'll take you a while to get there, but literally, even if you're just playing through the game the first time and just pick up every single civilian you see, you will get that achievement very, very easily. And I do mean that really seriously. Oh, I'm quite glad that guy went down as quickly as he did, and pure platinum. Victory is ours. Now, what I'm doing is being incredibly overcautious with my hammering, because I didn't want to miss anything, but basically, well, at this point in time there wasn't actually anything I could do because I didn't buy the treasure sensor yet. So we're just like, why is there not no beeping? Because I don't have that. Anyway, go through the right one first, or the left one. Either or will do the trick, pretty much. Because you've got the 3 pipes, and you can clearly see where they're going. It's just your decision on, is right going to take me further, or is middle going to take me further? And the answer is you're going to want to do this because you get a wonderful one and a wonderful figure, and I believe there may be something else in there as well. Because I think there was a little open window, but I decided definitely to ignore that. Then, yeah, the left one will literally just send you right back in a circle. I mean that you've got to unite hammer again, because they decided to be mean. And now, there are 2 things you can do here. You can either kind of unite claw your way over, or you can drop down into the water to get yourself a goodie. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there's definitely something down in the water in between the 2 pillars, and to be perfectly honest, you're probably quicker going down into the water, because then you're right by where you need to be. But either way, how about we have a little Metal Gear Rising reference, hey?
Unite sword!
Rules of nature, ha! Yeah. Very subtle game. Very, very, very subtle.
If it isn't the naughty little children I've been hearing so much about.
Identify yourself.
So, you're the big man in charge then? Precious. Think you can take charge of Vijounne?
Who are you calling Precious?
Oh, he's so cute when he gets all worked up.
I love this scene so much.
Let's see what you got, big boy.
Enough!
Red's face matches his sentinel suit. Very chic.
Oh, do not worry, Red. That cougar is not going to bite a sweet little thing like you.
Did you just call me a cougar?
You heard me, Foundation Face.
How dare you? I was doing my turn on the catwalk while you were still in diapers.
Oh, and who was in the audience? Eva? Cougars too?
Oh, come over here and say that to my face, you ditzy cheerleader-looking pom-pom-headed.
Go scare me, Mama!
Share your flight! This is it, Vijounne. You have a date with my Valiantium blade that's long overdue! The blue!
So we get into a rather irritating boss fight. Well, it's not quite a boss, it's a mini-boss, but it's a pain because obviously you're on your own, and that's a really bad way of going into a fight. So Vijounne here is voiced by Paula Tissot, who you will probably recognise as the voice of Lulu in Final Fantasy X and X-2. She's also the voice of Jill Navart in Final Fantasy XIII and Final Fantasy XIII-2. And she's also Sylvia Cristal in No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2. She hasn't been in a whole lot else, but I think Lulu in Final Fantasy X is more than enough to be awesome. Now, there are quite a few things about Vijounne that are very interesting. So the first is that in the Japanese version of the Wonderful 101's director trailer, aka the single greatest trailer that was ever released for the Wonderful 101, and kind of proves that Platinum should have been allowed to make their own trailers instead of Nintendo making them for them. At least I think it was Nintendo making them for them. You've got Vijounne smoothing her body, which is slightly inappropriate. But yeah, it was that little intro sequence there, and people were a bit like, oh god, it's been censored, and I don't quite know whether it has been or not, because Vijounne's not really that censored overall, especially with that conversation with Pink. But also when you find out, well, when you can find out that her place of origin is the planet Yumi, then kind of what's quite fun is that Umi in Japan means sea, so it's very fitting that she turns up in the water level and is very linked in with water. Also, if you get hit by that little heart kiss thing, then you will get turned into a little dog version of Blue, which, even though it is absolutely adorable, and I love it to pieces, it does make this fight a little bit more tedious, because you end up getting stuck in that form and you can't attack. However, it is a nice little reference to Okami, because Dog Blue is similarly designed. There's also a reference to Bayonetta in a way, because of what happens in the final boss fight against Jubileus when Bayonetta gets turned into Cereza. Also, the best way of kind of getting a lot of damage on Vijounne is by making sure that you choose the correct Vijounne during when she does that move, because you will be able to do massive damage on her. Otherwise, this fight can be a bit tedious. This would be so much easier if Blue wasn't such a hot-headed div. It's like, come on, dude. Stop running into things on your own and not letting us help you, fool.
How's it feel to be stung by the Valiantium blade?
Ooh, it feels wonderful. A little higher next time.
I'm gonna kick.
Oh, I'm just getting warmed up. Such a haplessly big sword. Are we compensating for something, Baby Blue? I still don't see what's so wonderful about you. A mystery to be unraveled next time, I suppose.
Team, we can't leave a man behind. We have to save Blue.
Ah, Blue. Always running into things when you really shouldn't do. So this this mission is totally all about the climbing. You've really got to make sure that you don't get hit, because that could end very, very, very badly for you. Because you could fall and then you are screwed, basically, and you have to start the entire climbing sequence all over again. But thankfully, they really don't throw that many enemies at you. If anything, you are going to get a rather low combo ranking if you don't at least attempt to take down this guy. But I can't be bothered, just because you aren't given the same freedom as you would be otherwise. However, that is literally that mission. It's very, very, very short. Ridiculously so, but you are under a time limit with it. Also, underlining that helipad gets you a wonderful file, which is always useful. Now you may think, oh, this is a rather easy fight for right now. Yeah, we've got this guy to take down now. And also, you may realise, if you look very carefully at the top left-hand side of the screen, that we have 104 members of our team. I'm not quite sure how that's happened. Because we aren't later in the game at all, and we haven't done anything else, so why it should be at 104 is beyond me. I mean, I suppose I have no idea at all. But yeah, you can have more than 100 wonderful ones in your team. You're just probably not supposed to quite know about that right now. Also, after having gotten that thing, run like the wind. Ah, Blue.
Are you alright?
Silly, silly Blue.
Hands off, bro, I'm good.
But,
I said I'm good!
Blue, we're a team. You can't just run off solo like that.
Well, just because Nelson says you're a leader don't make you one, and it sure don't make you mine.
Blue, put a lid on it. You and your ego put the entire team at risk.
Pink, it's alright.
No, Pink, it's not all right. Just because you couldn't fight your way out of a designer bag doesn't mean you get to harsh my game.
Excuse me?
Let us settle this later, like civilized wonderful ones, no? This place is not stable.
Out of my way, Bonaparte. I've got some harshing to do.
Bring it. Nobody who tastes the sting of my Valiantium blade lives to tell the tale.
Stop it! Both of you! That's an order!
Unbelievable! I wasn't aware you had time in your schedule for infighting.
If it isn't, who are you?
But if you're dead set on diving off the deep end, don't let me stop you.
She is right. We do not have time for this, my friends. Everyone, calm down.
He says after he kicks me in the badonkadonk. What the heck are you doing?
Ta-ta for now!
Well, I have to say we should be grateful for our alien friend. And now, however, we have this mission, which is another climbing mission. Although this is slightly more infuriating because you have to deal with the gamepad's terrible camera control. So, what I'm doing right now is going the complete wrong direction. What I should be doing is going over here. Thankfully, once you're on these things, it's a little bit easier to deal with. Because basically what you've got to do is you've got to avoid the panel that the Kofun is firing at, basically. Because otherwise you will suffer very bad consequences. Also, there is a hero heart in this chamber, and you are going to want to grab it, because obviously the more hero hearts the better. And I don't know why you wouldn't want to pick up a hero heart, especially when it's so easy to get. However, there is one thing that you are, well, should very much do that I am going to screw up immensely. And I would have cut out my failure, but I thought it was important to show you what not to do. Because I was rather embarrassed by what I did. So once you get to the end of your climbing section, which isn't that bad, there is a thing for green to shoot down. There is that little metal thing with the up arrow on it, and that is how you are going to get to your hero heart. However, it is not a good time to do that during the mission, largely because the mission is going to end as soon as you open the door. And you open the door by putting a sword into that thing just there. What you should not do is run right through that hole before you have done so, because then it means that you have to do the entire climby thingy again, and your time score is going to be absolutely abysmal. And so, after I have had my moment of idiocy, which you should certainly not repeat, because that would be a ridiculous thing to do, we will do this properly this time. And finish our collection, and finish this entire operation actually, because this is the final thing that we have to face. Before going into Operation 004B, that is. Now, I don't quite know how the Kofun's laser is achieving this. Because it's like, if it was affecting the like, going through all the metal, surely it would go through everything, and not just these very specifically coloured segments. I have no idea. Either way, am I still being an idiot? No, I am actually being relatively smart now, and finishing the mission before we move any further. Because that's literally all I needed to do, and instead I screwed it up. And thereby got a rather terrible ranking. I mean, silver's not bad in the grand scheme of things. It's not bronze, and it's not a consolation trophy. But it's certainly not helpful if you are trying to kind of get good things. Because basically, the more platinums and so on and so forth that you have, the better, because it means that if you mess up and get a silver or whatever, you are in a much better position for getting a decent ranking in the end. Which is what you want, really. I mean, there are two achievements associated with that. but I will discuss them more at a later date, nominally when we actually get them. Either way, you may have figured, maybe not, but you have to walk out of this room using the Unite Sword, because otherwise you're going to get hit by a laser, which would be painful. And with that, Operation 004A is complete. And what did I get? Gold. I'm assuming the silver and the bronze really screwed me over there. Although I did get a lot of gold, so it balances it out. Oh dear.